Good morning, students. Uh, we have begun this chapter, A Letter to God, by J.I. Fuentes. Probably you must have seen the audio or video clip that I had sent you on WhatsApp, and also the audio clips of explanation of 2 or 3 paragraphs of this chapter. As for a quick summary, let me tell you the gist of this story. We were talking about this person whose name was Lenko, and I told you that Lenko lived in a hilly area, a place where his house was in the valley. And I have already told you valley, let me to make you a clear explanation of what a valley is. Valley, I told you, is a place between two mountains. This particular area is considered as valley. So in this valley, there was a small hill sort of, and he lived in that hill. Hill on the crest means on the top of this here he had his house, from where he could see the rivers flowing, and this whole field were mountains were cut and made into various different fields. Lenko also had his field over here, and he had harvested a sort of corn fields. There were corns growing. The only thing he was expecting, that field was expecting to have, was a good rain. Once the good rain would come, it was for sure that this fellow will be having a lots and lots of good harvest, and the good harvest would definitely bring some sort of, not some sort of, but a lot of money for him. And he had a small family. His wife was there. He had 2 kids, and the kids were also playing that time in the story. And then suddenly when their mother called them for the supper, it started rain, and so Lenko went out of the house to see how much is the rain, and when he came back, he was so filled with happiness, so his heart was overwhelming that he could not see. He used metaphors over there, saying that it was not the big raindrops of the rains that were falling, it was actually the coins. Because when the rain falls, the crop would grow, and he would get a good harvest, and when he get a good harvest, he would sell it, and that would bring him lots of money. But suddenly, instead of raining, it started hailstorming. Hailstorming, I already told you what a hail is. Hailstones. Hailstones are basically what we call as ओले, no? ओले जो कभी-कभी हमने देखा है ठंड के समय में या बरसात के समय में बड़े-बड़े बर्फ के पत्थर जो गिरते हैं, that ओले, that started falling, and it covered the whole area. The whole area was basically looked as if it was covered with a silver. Initially it was very good, but the wind started becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, and later on what happens, it started worrying. We'll continue the story from there. It's really bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. Now this made Lenko really worried, because the hailstorm was not stopping. The winds were turned into whirlwinds, and the hailstorms were falling, and he got worried, in a sense कि what will happen, because जब भी आपने देखा होगा कि ओले वगैरह जब अगर खेत में गिरते हैं तो फसल को बर्बाद कर देते हैं, तो उसको भी ये डर लगने लगा कि अब क्या होगा. परिस्थितियां तो is becoming worse to worse. If it did not pass quickly, for an hour the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, and all on the whole valley. So the hailstorms were not subsiding. For an hour the hail rained on the house. Means not only for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You must have seen in winter season when the hail stones start falling, it falls only for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 15 minutes, something. But there what happened, it started falling for 1 hour. 1 hour means it's a great thing. Okay? So for another 1 hour, it just kept on falling and falling in the house, over the roofs, in the garden, and everywhere. The whole valley was covered with this hailstorm. The fields were white as if it covered with salt. अब क्या हो गया कि जब बहुत सारे ओले गिरने लगे, तो सारी की सारी फील्ड जो है ना, जहाँ से दूर तक देखे पूरी वैली जो है तो वाइट दिखने लगी बर्फ से। आपने देखा होगा ना, अगर टीवी पर या फिर अगर आप कभी गए हैं ऐसे पहाड़ों पर जहाँ बर्फ गिरती है, तो जब बर्फ गिरती है तो बर्फ की एक सफ़ेद चादर पूरे वैली को कवर कर लेती है। लोग वहाँ पिकनिक्स के लिए जाते हैं, बच्चे खेलने जाते हैं, एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स। उसी तरीके से ओलों ने covered the whole valley, small, whole it was covered up. The corn was totally destroyed, the flowers were gone from the plant. And the result क्या हुआ? जब बहुत सारे hailstones गिरने लगे, पूरा का पूरा फसल उसका खराब हो गया। वो जो फूल निकले हुए थे सुंदर उसके कॉर्न के फ्लावर्स, वो सब डिस्ट्रॉय होकर गिर गए। कॉर्न की फसल उसकी पूरी बर्बाद हो गई। The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. अब किसी भी पौधे को उगने के लिए, अगर आपने देखा होगा, कोई भी फल निकलने के लिए सबसे पहले फूल आते हैं, फिर फूल झड़ते हैं, और उन्हीं फूल के एज से, उन्हीं फूल के एंड से the fruit starts growing. Okay, so what happened? The flower fell down, and there was, like, the corns were getting destroyed. Lenko's soul was filled with sadness. अब सोच कर देखिए, if somebody's life, now we are in a lockdown, a very serious situation. People are having a lot of problems. Those who are working are not able to work. आपके भी घर में होंगे मम्मी पापा आपके, जिनके पास बिजनेस है वो बंद है, जिनकी दुकानें लगती है वो सब बंद कर दिया गया है। इससे हमारी कितनी परेशानी, मम्मी पापा परेशान है, दे आर वरीड, देयर इज नो मनी एट होम, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर्स टू बी मेट। बस लेंको की भी वही परिस्थिति थी। ही डिपेंडेड अपॉन फार्मिंग टू फीड हिज फैमिली एंड टू मेक हिज एंड्स मीट अप। एंड्स मीट अप मतलब टू हैव द मील्स, अपने रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी चलाना। टू it's a proverbial expression, to make an end meet up, to make an end meet up. So to make an end meet up, this end meet up means to have livelihood. Okay, to have livelihood, अपनी जीविका चलाना। तो जीविका चलाने का उनका यही साधन था। अब क्या हो गया, इससे क्या हो गया, लेंको went into sadness, डिप्रेशन में चला गया। डिप्रेशन is a very very serious problem, my dear children. Once a person goes into depression, his mind starts working. You must have recently heard, no? We are nowadays having the story of that boy Sushant Singh Rajput, a big star in growing industries, because of his mental problem. Therefore, mental stamina, mental strength is very much required more than our physical strength, no matter what happens in life. Please remember, never give up. There is always a way out. Every cloud has a silver lining. We can always fight with all situations. Failure does not mean that it is the end of the thing. Failure means that it is our own weakness. We have somewhere lagged efforts. And when we are born as a person, we know it to fight till our very last, and never give up. Never do anything that would be offending to yourself, offending to God, offending to your family. What did the boy get committing suicide? He just lost his own self and had given a lifelong pain to his parents. That never to be done. Always there is a way out. Always there is a fight that can be made. Unless and until you are alive, learn to fight. So here, but sometimes what happens is this depression is very very strong. In that case, here also it happened to Lenko. When Lenko saw that his crops have been destroyed, he went, his soul, his internal being went into sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son. And finally, when the storm got over, when there was no rain, where the hail had stormed, he went to his field, stood in the middle of the field, very sad, very remorseful, very sorrowful, and said to his sons, a plague of locust. This new word has come here. Locust. L-O-C-U-S-T. Locust. I hope you all know what locust is. And if you don't know, I'll give you an example. Just 2, 3, 4 days back, what happened? Our city was attacked by a sort of insect, जिसको हम टिड्डियाँ बोलते हैं. वही होता है locust in English. Okay? And we have already witnessed it when the swarm. अब बहुत सारी टिड्डियाँ जब एक साथ उड़ते हैं तो उनको कहते हैं a swarm of locust. When the swarm of locust attacks, it eats away everything that comes on its way, especially the green plants, the trees, the fields, and all other things is eaten away. So when Lenko went to the field, he looked at his son and told his son, "Ki the plague of locust," they called it as a plague. Plague, children, actually refers, plague means Mahamari. Okay? Mahamari. Plague. So a plague of locust, because कि locust जहाँ भी जाते हैं वहाँ सिवाय बर्बादी के और कुछ नहीं करते. So he said कि a plague of locust would have left more than this. The hails has left nothing this year. We will have no corn. And he told to them कि children, my dear children, अगर टिड्डियाँ अटैक की होती, if the locust would have attacked us, at least they would have not done this much damage as the storm, the rain and the hailstones have done to it. And therefore, as a result of all this, इस सब के नतीजे के स्वरूप क्या होगा कि हमारे पास इस साल कोई भी फसल नहीं होगी. सोचिए कितनी दुख की बात होगी. एक परिवार जिसकी रोजी रोटी, जिसका खाना पीना that runs on farming. हम अक्सर सुनते हैं ना हमारे देश में फसल के बर्बाद हो जाने से the farmers commit suicide because it's their livelihood. उनकी रोजी रोटी है, उसी से वो कमाते हैं, उसी से खाते हैं, उसी से जीते हैं, हर चीज़ उस पर निर्भर है. और वही बर्बाद हो गई तो फिर व्यक्ति किस मनोदशा में होता है. What would be the mental condition of person? I hope you all can understand it. So he also, with a very, very sorrowful heart, with a very, very remorseful heart, he said that what are we going to do now? This year we will not have any corns. This year we will not have any crops. That night was a sorrowful one. अब सोचिए कि आपके साथ कुछ ऐसा हादसा हो जाए या आपके घर में कुछ हादसा हो जाए. God forbids, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. But if something very bad or very sad happens to us, what happens? That night becomes very, very heavy for us. We cannot sleep. We are awake. We are worried. What will happen now? What will happen now? We will mentally be disturbed. We will not like to eat food. Now, when the day of your result comes on 27th, my dear children, okay, a previous night would be a really very tense night for you. You will be worried, how much percentage would I get? How much I will get to, okay, secure good marks, whether I will get it or not. Next day will go in a lot of eagerness, a lot of inquisitiveness, whether aaya ki nahi aaya. That's all. You will soon understand the feeling which this man is going to go on 26th of June. Okay, so all our work for nothing. There's no one who can help us. We all go hungry this year. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary, there's a new word come over here, that is solitary. Solitary means lonely. Lonely, या फिर alone. Okay, remember this word? Solitary means lonely, या फिर alone means he lived in a solitary place. So in hills and all, basically what happens, the houses are not very close by. Each houses are far, far away from each of the places. So in the solitary houses, all our work therefore, all our work for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. Okay? So the whole family is sitting, they are remorseful, they are sad, they are worried, they want to know, now what will happen? How are we going to make our eat food? What are we going to do the whole year? So family is discussing with each other. There is no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. But in the heart of all who lived in that solitary house, in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Now this is very important to know. What is very important to know? That whenever we are in a very much of sadness, whenever we are worried, okay, we look for hope from somewhere. We look for help from somewhere. And most of the time when we are worried, what do people say? Bhagwan sab acha kar denge. Bhagwan par bharosa rakhe. As a human being, children, this word is of great importance for all of us. What? Hope. As long as you are alive, please remember, hope is always there. And it's the hope that keeps us going. Apart from that, there is nothing in the world that will make you go about. But the hope that the things will better. And in that solitary house, in that lonely house, the only hope these people had, that it's the God who will come to our rescue. Somehow, God is going to help us. Okay? And definitely, if God sees that you are worried, God is always there to help you, to guide you. Don't be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. And remember, children, most of the time, it happens in life. They are talking to each other and they are saying, though we have lost everything, though now there is nothing, though we do not know tomorrow what will tomorrow bring for us, but there is a hope that it has been promised by God that nobody dies of hunger. There will be some arrangement made. This is called as optimism in life. Okay? So therefore you also good to have optimism. An optimistic outlook. What is optimistic? सकारात्मक दृष्टिकोण. जब सब कुछ अंधेरा दिखे, तब भी ये लगे कि उम्मीद की कहीं ना कहीं कोई किरण है ही. There is always a hope for everywhere. You should always live in optimism. You should always believe that everything will go on fine. All is well, right? So that is what they thought of. Though we have lost everything, but it's not the problem. We will definitely have something or the other that will help us. We will not sleep hungry. That's what they say. No one dies hungry. That's what they say. Who are they? They means our old ones, our elders. No, in our world we have got lots and lots and lots of people, those who have created lots of proverbs. कहावतें कही गई है और कहीं ना कहीं ये कहावतें सही भी होती हैं, कहीं कहीं सिचुएशन में फिट भी होती है. तो उन्हीं लोगों को, not any particular they, it is in general they, the old people, they have said, don't worry, even if you don't have anything, nobody dies of hunger. Although the knight Lenko thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in the conscience. What is conscience? There's a word, another new word come over here. That is conscience. C-O-N-S-C-I-E-N-C-E. Please remember the correct pronunciation. It is not conscience. It is not conscious. It is conscience. Shuns. Okay? So, in a deep down in our conscience, we know. The Lenko also believed that his only hope now is God. That though the people might not know it, though your neighbor may not know it, though your parents may not know it, though your friends may not know it, but God is there. He sees all our activities. He sees all our doings. He knows what is required of you. He knows your conscience, अंतर्मन. आपके अंतर्मन में क्या है वो भी वो जानते हैं. इसीलिए तो he is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. इसे परमात्मा कहते हैं उनको, क्योंकि वो सब कुछ जानते हैं, श्रेष्ठ है. And that's what he thought, that God knows my suffering, and I definitely, the God will not forsake me, the God will not leave me, but he will do. Lenko was an ox of a man. So he says, Lenko was an ox of a man. Ox of a man. Okay? What does ox of a man means? That ox, you know what is ox? Bear, right? So bear, अब बैल को देखा, हम गाय से खेत नहीं जोतते, हम बैल लगाते हैं उसको, because okay, this ox are more powerful, they are more laborious in comparison to bull or the cow, and therefore what we say, he was an ox of a man. He was not a man who would give up so easily. He was a man, a fighter, who would fight. He knew how to labor. He was a hard-working person, working like an animals in the field. So whenever he used to go to his field, he used to work like animals, as if the ox work, the bullocks work. So also he used to work in his field, but still he knew how to write. But he was an educated person also. See, education is a very important aspect in life. No matter what work you do, the education is a very, very strong phenomenon for you. It helps you to work. It helps you to do the things. It helps you to understand the world. And therefore, he was a ox of a man. Okay? The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to a town and place it in the mail. So he thought what to do now. And what he did was, he went, took a piece of paper and started writing a letter. And to whom? We don't know. But he wrote a letter and he decided that he will take that letter himself to the post office. Okay? It was nothing less than a letter to God. And what was that? Recently all of you must have seen a movie came, no? Oh my God. परेश रावल था जिसमें and शायद अक्षय कुमार, उसमें वो भी होता है ना, he filed a case against God, Paresh Rawal. Some sort of that resembles over. This man also writes a letter to nobody else, straight away to God. Okay, God knows how he is going to post that letter, but definitely he wrote a letter to God. I hope you understood this much of the story. If you have any problems in understanding the story, if my video has been not clear to you, if you did not understand any aspect of the story, you would message me on your WhatsApp group, class WhatsApp group, and whenever we have our classes, or today will be after the class, after you have seen this video, what you do is you send me your queries and I will post some of the question answers for you. So after watching this video, straight away go to WhatsApp. I am there online to discuss with you and to ask you question. And it is necessary for everybody to see this video and compulsory to attend the class. Thank you and have a great day.